Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today is banana bread. This is a little different spin on a traditional banana bread. This one I'm going to have some spices in there, cinnamon, cloves and some nutmeg, and I'm going to have a nice helping of almonds. And also I got a question to ask you guys. How many of you out there have made a banana bread and have had to throw it in the garbage, or it was just not nice enough to eat? So if that's the case, you want to try this banana bread. It'll turn out great for you every time, and it'll make your house just smell beautiful. So what we're going to do now is start mixing up our butter and sugar, and I'll tell you the ingredients as we go. So I guess you would need at least 2 to 3 medium bananas. You can have week-old bananas. You can have bananas just frozen in your freezer. You could take those out. If they're black, it doesn't matter. But just as long as they're at least a week old and haven't got that bitter taste and a little sweeter. We're going to be using 1/2 cup of butter and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. There won't be no white sugar in this recipe, and this brown sugar is going to bring out all those flavors. So let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to add in 1/2 cup of room temperature butter. If you want to, you could use your blender or your food processor for this, that's fine. But I'm going to use just ordinary old wooden spoon. So, and we're going to be using 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So start with just mixing this in lightly together. So I'm going to be using 2, you can say mashed bananas, but I'm just going to pinch it into my bowl. You could use 3 for this recipe, and that's fine if you want to do that. So just pinch it on in, or mash it. Just put it right into your bowl. Okay, so you're just going to mash this all in together, just to combine the sugar and your banana and the butter. Just blend it all in together. We're going to be also adding in a teaspoonful of vanilla, so mix that around. Now I'm going to be using 2 large eggs, and I don't want to crack them directly into the bowl, and really you shouldn't crack them into the bowl or crack on the bowl, because just in case the egg is bad or you got a little bit of a shell in there, you can at least take it out when it's in a cup or a dish, and just lightly blend those 2 eggs together and then toss it into your mixture. So after you got your eggs and the vanilla into the butter and the sugar, just mix it around lightly. And what we're going to do now, we're going to sift in the flour and the spices, and each time I'll tell you what that is. Okay, so into a sifter, you're going to put 2 cups of white flour, or your flour of choice, but I'm using white today. A teaspoonful of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoonful of nutmeg, a teaspoonful of cloves. We're going to be using a teaspoonful of baking powder and a teaspoonful of baking soda. So now what you're going to do now is just sift all of this down into your wet ingredients. So just do that until you get to there. That's just a little seeds and the beads from probably the nutmeg, and that's okay. So you're just going to fold this in lightly, and then while you're doing that, you can take 1/4 cup of fresh orange juice and pour right into it, and then fold that into it. Okay, so we're just going to continue folding this around. I've been making this banana bread for, I would say, way over 26, 27 years or more. I can remember when my boys was in daycare, and you walk in, you bring the kids to the daycare, and when you go in, there'd be just this nice smell of banana bread or banana muffins, and that just stuck with me. So with that, I would make it myself and then just play with flavors. And in this case, I like spices, cinnamon and nutmeg and so on. And that each time I've made it, have turned out amazing. So just fold all of this in together, and then I'm going to be using a half a cup of sliced almonds, but you could use crushed or whole, whichever. So just toss that right into the batter and just fold it in. Okay, so just make sure all of your ingredients is incorporated, and it's going to look something like this. Leaving probably maybe a dozen or so crushed or sliced almonds, because we wanted to put over the top of the loaf. Now we need a loaf pan. So we're going to lightly grease our pan, and I got a little bit of parchment paper in the bottom, and I usually do that when I bake banana bread or even cakes. That'll help just in case it do start to burn a little. I don't want that to happen. This makes 1 loaf or 12 muffins. So you take it then and scoop it all in to your loaf pan. Make sure you get all the goodness. And then get yourself one of those flat spatulas and take all of your batter out of your pan and put it in there. After, just smooth it out lightly. You don't have to have it totally smooth out, just enough, a rough smooth I should say, and tap it down. Just give it a little shake like this, and then take your crushed or your sliced almonds and just evenly put over the top of your banana loaf like this, which is banana bread, and that's what it's going to look like. So what you're going to do next, you're going to preheat your oven for 350 degrees, and you're going to put your timer on for 40 minutes. Now this loaf or the muffins bakes anywhere between 40 to 60 minutes. You could take it out at the 40 mark or at the 50 to 60, depending on your oven. So I'm going to let you judge. When it gets to that point and your buzzer goes off, just poke a toothpick or a little knife into it. If it comes out clean, that's perfect. If it got a little bit of batter still on there, put your timer on again for another few minutes and let that continue baking. And while you're waiting for it to bake, think about the question that I asked you. How many loaves have you made, banana loaves, that you've had to toss in the garbage, or just you ate it just because you had it baked but it wasn't that great? Send me a message while you're waiting for your loaf to bake. Let me know that, and we'll have a little chat. So meet you back here when it's baked. Welcome back to Bonita's Kitchen, and thank you for joining us. My banana loaf with spices and almonds in it is baked, and it looks absolutely delicious. So then take a knife, after you've taken it out, let it rest for about 5 minutes or even 10 minutes if you want to, just so it's not too hot to take it out. Just lightly put the knife around the sides. You may not be stuck, but just in case. Mine has been out for about 10 minutes, so I'm able to touch it here now. It's a little warm, and this is what it looks like. It's still got the parchment paper on the inside, which is fine. Just going to put it there. You still see the steam coming out. Absolutely delicious looking. And thank you for sending me those messages while you were waiting for your loaf to bake, because I enjoyed reading them. So now what I'm going to do now is make a nice glaze, a lemon glaze, to go over the top of individual pieces. You can put it over all of it, but if you're not going to eat it all right away, there's no need of having it there. It's about a half a cup of icing sugar or confectionery sugar. I'm going to have just a nice helping of lemon zest, because that puts that nice citrusy taste to your icing sugar. And then I'm going to squeeze in about a tablespoonful of lemon. So after you put in, like I said, a nice helping of lemon zest, your half a cup of sugar, icing sugar, and about a tablespoonful of lemon juice, mix that around until it's all combined. If you need to use more lemon juice, that's fine, because sometimes you might want to make that little bit more liquid. But this is what it's going to look like, and this is going to be sprinkled over the top of an individual piece of banana loaf. Now I'm going to cut a nice piece. Well, it's not going to be that big, but I'm going to cut it in half first so you'd see what it is. And I got a little bit of a rough knife there, because sometimes when you're cutting with just an ordinary carving knife is not enough. This is what it looks like on the inside. Now I'm going to cut off a piece, put it on the plate, and show you what it looks like with some of the lemon glaze over the top. Okay, so I just want to cut off a nice helping. You can still see the steam coming from this piece. And I'm going to put a nice piece there on the plate, and with that I'm going to add in that nice lemon glaze over the top with icing sugar, lemon juice, and the lemon zest. So all I'm messing with this right now, as you can see, I mean, this is delicious. It's golden brown, and it's got everything. It's got the sweetness and tart now with that lemon. It's a nice cup of tea. So I'm going to pour myself up a cup of tea. Then I'm going to taste the banana bread, and I'll tell you what that tastes like. I'm just going to take a nice little piece here now. And it's got, like I said, a golden brown. You can see the banana. I only put just 2 in this one. You could put more because it doesn't matter. It'll still come out delicious. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. It's not sweet. And the banana is mostly the sweetness in there because it's only a half a cup of brown sugar. And the zestiness of, or the citrusness of the lemon in the glaze, it brings out a nice flavor as well. But this is moist and golden brown. Now I'm going to have a sip of my tea. That was nice. Well, I hope you found this recipe for banana bread helpful for you today. Delicious, works every time for me, and I'm sure if you made it, you will love it as well. And if you like this recipe and you'd like to see more of our traditional Newfoundland recipes and non-traditional Newfoundland recipes, please visit me on my YouTube channel and subscribe. And up at the top right hand corner, hit the link, subscribe, and it'll prompt you to what you need to do. You can also visit me on my Facebook page, send me a tweet on Twitter, or visit me on www.bonitaskitchen.com. So thank you for joining me once again for Bonita's Kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.